Hi, everybody, and hi,
Hi.
my beautiful co-host and co-Sis-Star, all the way from Arizona, Mesa, Arizona. So, and me, myself from Greece today. We are going to talk about Are you trapped in your crap? And we have some personal stories to share today.
Always.
That's going to be, yes, always. That's going to be wonderful. It's about walking your talk, right?
Hmm.
So anyway, welcome to the Cosmic Sister Show with Corinne and Anne, and we talk about Are you trapped in your crap? I just love this topic. I knew I were in for something today. So
I'm sorry.
what if the very crap you think you're stuck in is actually a bre- cosmic breadcrumb trail leading you back to your power? Yeah, it may be, actually. What if the patterns you keep tripping over aren't failures but portals? And if the only truly thing trapping you is the story you keep telling yourself about the trap? In
Exactly.
this episode, Anne and Karine dive straight into the beautifully messy, hilarious, human, wildly transformative terrain of emotional compost. I can't hold back. I have to laugh. So funny. The stuff we hide, deny, avoid, or pretend we've transcended. Together, we peel back the layers with honesty, laughter, and the signature Sis-Stars sparkle, revealing how your crap can become rocket fuel for awakening when you stop wrestling it and start listening to it. This is not a conversation about fixing yourself. It's a conversation about freeing yourself, about reclaiming the parts of you that have been buried under old narratives, outdated identities, and inherited emotional debris. So get ready for a truth tremor, a perspective flip, a cosmic exhale, because once you see your crap for what it really is, you'll never be trapped by it again. Thank you, universe, I say.
Thank you. Yes.
And today it's Wednesday, March 18th in US and Europe, and Thursday, March 19th in our future Australia. So again, we talk about Are you trapped in your crap? Our last show on with Cosmic Sisters was last Wednesday, March 11th. And we talked about a review of the four agreements and discussing the fifth agreement with the beautiful author and writer Don Luis. Mi- no, I'm, I'm I'm not saying this correctly. I think Don Miguel Ruiz. Yes, I did it. Just a reminder, we go live for you or have a pre-recorded video every week, every Wednesday on youtube.com/ at Cosmic Guardians 111 / streams or youtube.com/ at Angel Place on Earth / streams. So how about diving straight into the crap of today's show?
Uh, well, the reason that I am in this point of laughter is that we the universe again gave us an opportunity to walk the walk and talk the talk, and just about everything on the physical realm uh, was trying to let us experience that we still get out there, and the shite hits the fan every now and then. and
It
I
does, does.
yes, and I have an appropriate little plaque, and it says, "The manure occurreth," and that's in the physical form, but in the emotional form, little things like anticipating something, and then what the just happened? Why didn't this work? And so I think it was so hysterical that we were given a great laugh before we began this adventure into uh, our finding ways to avoid not avoid finding ways to eradicate the things that do keep us bound. And
Yeah, and we I have to mention we are talking about this today. Are you trapped in your crap? And we still have Mercury retrograde. Congratulations for another 5 days. So it's kind of sliding into something that is, feeling chaotic sometimes.
I yes, and it's almost just like being uh, almost connected, but there's a little glitch, and then you go, okay, well, let's fix this glitch, and then let's get back on track. But I think handling it with humor and a great big oh crap. I think
Sorry.
that allows us to just, you know, move on through and use this wonderful manure as fertilizer and grow from it. And
Exactly. And living in this world that we do, yeah, we are always going to experience unexpected things. And yeah, just dealing with it. And it's like we always love to say, it's how you respond to something.
yes, yes,
Yes.
very much so. But you and I both work a lot with people that are in their stuff and they just can't seem to get out of it. And but have you ever noticed how some of these people will be in a relationship and all of a sudden it looks really familiar to the last relationship, or they notice that they are overcompensating, or maybe losing a small part of themselves in conversation, or maybe finding that they're losing their authenticity and wondering why I have a new face in my relationship, I have a new job, I have new people. Why is it that I'm still walking in this muck? And you start realizing that you're attracted to certain personalities, you're attracted to certain drama and trauma. And this keeps you in a loop and keeps you going back. And we want to know why, Anna. Why?
Yes. Why? Exactly. So, um, for all of us, right? Um, there are coming moments. I'm not going to say it's only one moment because it's usually more than it's something that comes when we are ready for it, or sometimes we don't feel ready, but we usually are indeed. It's like the universe puts a mirror in front of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not a soft mirror that flatters or comforts, but the
No.
crystalline mirror that reveals the truth of what we are carrying around, the patterns,
Yeah,
the stories, the emotional debris, the energetic leftovers from lifetimes of trying to fit into shapes that were never meant for us, right?
exactly.
And I think that why we keep repeating those things and why we have a hard time stepping outside, because we have been taught to grow within frames. And we learn this is what we should do and this is what we shouldn't do. This we can do, that we cannot do. So it's hard to find the inner core here. But once we start doing that and we send out our intentions that I am willing to see, here comes the best part. are willing to see and are willing to work on it, that's when the mirror comes, right?
Yes. Yes,
And
because yes.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, uh, so there is going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and this old, unpleasant, self-sabotaging crap, and that deep down resistance that takes us into that deep black hole. We're going to be able to see a light. We're going to be able to realize that it brought us to a certain situation, and now we have a chance to resolve it.
Exactly, because we need, no one else can do that for us. We can go to therapy, we can have coaches, we can work on it on a spiritual level, we can do so many things, but we are the ones needing to see because we are the ones needing to cut through that specific um, pattern or those things we are carrying around, the bricks we are carrying in our backpack. We
Love it.
need, yeah, we need to take them out from the backpack, look at them and say, you don't suit me any longer. I'm not going to behave in this way that I have been doing, carrying them around. I'm going to release them. And, the accumulation of unprocessed experiences and expectations and assumptions, because we all get assumptions once in a while, right? Um, I
No,
made
not us.
one today, but it was not about an old pattern. It was about time. Yeah,
And I was assuming too. I mean, this is what we were laughing about, that yes, we are on this journey, but yes, we have opportunities to put it to the test. And when it gives us a test, we use humor. We
yes,
we go, oh well, that's a bunch of crap today, so that's okay. We'll just kind of get through it, and I think
exactly.
that also builds us our resilience too.
It does. So if you think of a backpack, like you usually show people when you have courses with them, right?
I
If
do.
you imagine yourself a backpack with 20 bricks in, that's going to be unbelievably heavy, right?
Mhm.
But those
Yes.
bricks represent everything that you still keep holding on to because it's familiar. It's how you, it comes from childhood, it comes from experiences, it comes from everything you think you know, right? So you keep
Yes.
them. And when you keep those bricks, you are also attracting different packages, same scenarios in your life. And that's what this is all about because you need to change that thing. You need to come out of it. And as you said, Kareem, yeah, I talk to a lot of people who have the same thing. They have a hard time stepping outside of it. But we're not talking about this to judge anyone, right? Because it's
No.
not about judgment, but it's about also seeing and clarifying. We could give advice to so many, and we are doing that, but it's the person receiving it who has to figure out for themselves. We don't have the answer for what's actually your crap or not your crap, or
Mhm.
where you want to head. Everyone knows that from within, right? But
Mhm.
the answers come from you. And when we are experiencing the same things all over the place, I have to say this today was actually a new one, right? We found.
Hey,
But,
what can I say?
yeah, but if we are experiencing the same patterns all over, and we sometimes we grab our forehead, we say, "Okay, I can't take this. I don't want to do this again. What am I doing wrong?" And to clarify, no one is doing anything wrong, but you need to expand your perception of where you are heading, because you're going to keep on, not as a punishment, because There are no such things as rewards or punishments, but you could call it karma if you come from where I see karma, choices and choices and consequences of the choices, because
Mhm.
we cannot keep continuing forward doing the same thing exactly as we feel comfortable all the time, because we refuse to make small changes and
Yes.
expect something else to come instead.
To happen. Yes. Um, I personally used to get A's in procrastination, and I would drop back into people pleasing and overcompensating. And it was hard for me to make decisions. And then I realized that I, and only I, was completely responsible for making changes in my life. And I had to change my mind and change my heart while still being perfectly imperfect. And there were occasions that I may slip. However, the joy is that I can quickly recognize the pattern and make the desired arrangements and adjustments and go, oh crap, and go, all right, how can I make, how can I find myself again through this and blossom into the beautiful person that I already am?
Exactly. And all of those things we have been talking about is actually what we call, as the topic says, craft in your craft, right?
Yes.
Because it's not an insult, it is an invitation. It's a cosmic checkpoint, a sacred pause where your soul whispers that something deeper is ready to be released. So I
Hmm.
think we also have mentioned in the past that when we experience something we feel is very challenging, the more challenging, the better to grab it and have a look at it. Why does this happen, right?
Yes.
Some things are not as deep, other things feel like they rock your whole world, right? So, um, very common theme is, you know, no, I rephrase that. Being trapped in your crap looks very different for everyone, right? Because it's about what we carry within. For some, it is the constant loop of self-doubt. I'm not good enough. For others, it is the emotional terror that keeps resurfacing in relationships. It may show up as procrastination, overwhelm, people pleasing, or the quiet ache of knowing you are meant for more but feeling unable to move.
Hmm.
Feeling that, that I feel stuck here. What am I going to do? Right?
Hmm.
And that's not going to change. You can change the outer circumstances. You can, if it's a relationship, you can change to a different relationship, right? But
Hmm.
the thing is, unless you look within and start working on what's within you, it's not going to change. That's what I mean when I say a different package, but the same pattern, right? So
Exactly.
I, can I mention something more? Sorry. The truth is that your crap is not the enemy. It is a messenger. It is the part of you that has been waiting for your presence, your compassion, your willingness to listen to it, right? So when you
Hmm.
stop fighting it and start witnessing it, something extraordinary happens. The density begins to loosen. The emotional knots begin to soften. The stories begin to dissolve. You begin to breathe again.
Yes, and that is so true. And again, on a personal level, um, at the age of 40, uh, I went through a divorce and new start, new life, found a new face. And after several months in this relationship, I realized that the patterns were still there. I was being drawn to the patterns of a particular personality. And I realized that if I continued, I would be back in the same relationship I was in before. And I chose to get out of it. And I gave up a trip to Hawaii because no way could I go to Hawaii and then tell this person that I was getting out of the relationship. And I was criticized for that. Why don't you just go and have fun? And then, but I couldn't have done that. But we're drawn to something familiar. And that's not a failure. That's just something that we're comfortable with. But if we pause and we go, this is not where I want to be, how and what do I see in the mirror that I can do to change my thinking and change my patterns and change my desire to be in that loop? And I was lucky because, not knowing any of this wonderful information, I happened to, the universe dropped this book by Louise Hay in my lap. And in it, I could, I bought a cassette tape. And it was, I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I love myself the way I am, but I know I can rearrange. I played that little tape so many times, I had to buy 3 more because I played it over and over and over, because the loop that I had gotten myself into was so saturated. I needed something to go in there like a bulldozer and start opening that up. And that was the beginning. That was the beginning.
And that's actually how you can experience transformations on this journey. Like a bulldozer comes and just takes away. I think even Greg Braden stated that once. I heard him
Yes.
in a video saying that. And it's fantastic. We are also told that we are not being given more than we can chew and more than we can manage and handle, right? It may
Yes.
sometimes feel like that, but we are, all of us, I promise, we are stronger. And you out there, you're stronger than you think you are. So
Exactly.
I think that when we feel stuck and when we don't want to change how we see things or look at within what's been triggered within me, why do I feel this way? That is the kickoff for feeling depressed or feeling sad or losing your energy, feeling drained. Um, so it's nothing actually more rewarding than when you take that peak. It doesn't mean that we are going to climb Himalaya in a day and we're going to be finished. But it means that we may actually start standing at the bottom of Himalaya looking up and
Mm-hmm.
say, it's a journey that I would be excited to do because it's going to bring me where? It's going to bring me to myself.
Yes.
So,
And
you know, when, yeah, sorry, go ahead. No,
Mercury's messing with my with my conversation here. Um, but we can rise above this. We're not trapped. We can calm the inner being, and we can find that clarity. And we've spoken before about the spiritual hygiene, and
yeah,
we sometimes forget to clean that connection that we have. Take a shower in our cleansing waters, and then I find that I start following a familiar path, and that's when I go, oh, spiritual hygiene. What can I do to regain that higher frequency and become that radiant miracle just waiting to shine?
Perfect. Perfect. So I think one of the most um, challenging things may actually be to meet our crap, right? And now we're not talking about things that are occurring on the outside because those things are always going to occur. It's how we manage them, how
That's
we
right. Yes.
respond to them. And today we had a lot of that crap on my end.
Mine too.
I didn't realize the time because we do have a time difference. You are in Mesa, Arizona, and I'm in Rhodes, Greece. So yeah,
Yes.
good luck finding a good time. But we always do, right? But
Oh,
it is
yes.
challenging. Plus, I also always have to think about: am I in Greece now or am I in Sweden? But
I
that's the only so it complicates things a little bit more, right? But on another note, that is it's only 1 hour difference, so it's not the end of the world. But anyway, yeah, I need to think about that. And
but
just to give you a little bit of laughter, I used to work both on a psychic line in US some years ago, but also in the UK. And figure out there 1 hour difference, time difference from Sweden, and in Greece 2 hours with the UK. So you always need to. Where am
I just I I am I am lucky to remember uh, just my daily things, and I admire the fact that you're balancing three time zones, and all of this stuff, and I am so grateful that you are the one that does all those juggling of times and scheduling. Um,
Thank you. But sometimes I am. Can I say the
hey,
word brain farting?
hey, don't we all? But the beauty is that because of the tools that we have, we're able to overcome the difficulty. We don't take it personally. We don't start beating up on ourselves, telling us how bad we were, how terrible, and everything else, and bringing that trauma and drama and that crap back. And that's the beauty. We go, oh, that happened, and then we go, now how do we make flowers grow? And we have the tools. We have the meditation and the mindfulness uh, that allows us to take a moment and go, okay, that just happened. Now, where do we go from here? Instead of, well, you always do this, you're never this, you're this. And that is where we beat ourselves up in our own,
Yeah, and
person.
and what I have been hearing from people when there are, it's not always that we have an argument or differences with someone, but we feel insecure within. Not
Yes.
talking about me, but very generally, right? So
Yes.
if I said this, how did the other person take it? Because I feel crappy about this, what I said,
Yeah.
or they didn't answer my message. When are they going to answer? I don't feel good about this. That is not intuition. That is our crap coming up for us, right? So
Yes.
that I always love to say that we come into this world with all our senses. So we need all our senses. We need the brain and the mind. We need hear, to see, taste, everything of that good nature, all of our senses, right? But also our intuition. We haven't been taught our intuition, but when something is talking to us from our backpack, that is not intuition. And when we feel that we may doubt ourselves, that is the mind helping the backpack, right?
Yes. And
Does that make sense?
when I'm working with my my beautiful clients, I literally have them put the backpack on their lap, sitting there holding all these bricks. And then if they have an aha moment and they go, "Oh," I say, "Take stone out." And each time they have an aha moment, they take a stone out. And it gets lighter, and there is a very visible, tangible way of going, yes, the emotions that I carry do weigh me down. Another little tool that I use, and I especially use this when I'm working with children, because they're just so ready to make change. And I started this technique with my little granddaughter because she loved to sit on this bouncy ball. I was sitting on the floor. She'd sit on the bouncy ball and bounce, 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 bounce. And I would get tired. And I'd finally say, "Okay, it's time to breathe." And I'd go, and she would imitate it. Not that she was actually breathing, but she would imitate what I was doing. And I started hearing her when her brothers would get out of control or something. "It's time to breathe." But this tool that I have, I was working with two little girls that were just beyond hyper. And so I said, "Okay, we're going to sit down and cross your legs. Now put your hands over your heart and take a deep breath and hold it and slowly." And then I'm working with a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. "And let's do this a couple of times, because now you're going to be stronger." And what I knew was that it gives them their power back. It also calms them down, and it breaks the loop.
Yes. Fantastic. Fantastic. You know, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And this work of emotional sovereignty, you can call it that, right? It is not glamorous. It is not always comfortable, and we can sign that part, right? But it's profoundly liberating. And dealing with things, going back to yourself, being in the present moment, that is coming very, very far. So when you meet your crap with honesty and tenderness, without judging yourself, you discover that beneath every layer of heaviness, there's a seed of wisdom, the learning you can get from it, right? Beneath every contraction, there is a hidden expansion. Beneath every fear, there is a forgotten truth about who you really are, right? And
Exactly.
this means that finding your sovereignty, finding yourself, that beautiful soul that you are, that is already perfect, getting rid of the layers that have been put on to you by others that probably had their best in mind for you. They wanted to teach you to fit in to a certain pattern in this world. That's what this is all about, right? So
Yes.
what everybody else are doing, that's the truth, right? Not what you feel in here. That is true. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, I'm just pondering here. I am very, very connected to the land, an earth mother, you may say. I rise with the sun. I'm ready to retire when the sun goes down. And I love to work in the garden. I love to get my hands in the rich soil. But if you realize that in nature has a way of helping correct its living things. And we, because we think we can outthink our stuff, don't allow nature to happen. When I plant a seed, if I happen to drop it in upside down, that little seed wakes up and it goes, oops. And instead of coming up through the ground, it has to go down and around itself and then make its way up. And then it goes a little further. Well, maybe there's a rock there, so it has to go around the rock. Well, maybe it gets too much water and it starts, oh, I'm going to drown. And then finally the water stops and it says, I'm going to make it. And then it goes up a little further and it gets its first glimpse of the light of our authentic self. We see
Yes.
our authentic self, but there's still a lot of growing to be done for it to become this beautiful flower and say the journey, it's still going on and I'm still enjoying it. But by being with the natural way of flowing instead of saying, well, I got to learn this, I got to do this, I can't do that. That's just putting pressure on you. And you're not, you know, my favorite word, allowing the process gently.
Yeah, exactly. Because there is no such a thing as failure, is there?
Nope.
No. And I think we talked about that before because it's interesting. If I tried 10 ways of doing something and I'm not succeeding, and I find how I can do that specific thing the 11th time, so 10 times were trials for me.
Well, 10 times we're just realizing that those were not the way that you wanted to do. And if people that, especially really creative people, we all are creative people, we just forget that because we're creating our own reality. But when we come up against something and run into resistance or run into the fact that we didn't really get rid of all that crap, and we really didn't get, you know, and have to deal with it again, we persecute ourselves instead of going, oh, well, there's a rock, so what do? I go this way and then I go this way, and go with the flow. We love that, going with the flow. But having that gentleness that we are on this journey and we are perfectly imperfect,
Yeah.
then we can become.
We are. And thank you so much. I know that is your statement. I love that. Perfectly imperfect. I
Yeah.
said that to a few people, and I said I have a sister in Arizona who started stating that, and that's beautiful, and they all love it. They all
Yeah.
love it,
Yeah.
because we are not meant to stay trapped. We are meant to rise. We are
Yes.
meant to clear the inner clutter so our soul can see clearly against of ourselves. So our true essence, where our life becomes a reflection of our inner clarity. And we talked about the miracle frequency with our guest a couple of weeks ago, Joan of Angels, right?
Yes.
Miracle frequency, that's she labels it, right? But the miracle frequency, that is who you are inside. And you could actually start trying to think about, well, if we are continuously coming back here again, why do we come back here again? We have to repeat the same thing. So there are many ways of thinking about that, right? I
Yes.
don't have any clear answers. I have what I perceive, and that is that while we're here, walking this path, working on ourselves, discovering ourselves, we merge the gap.
Yeah.
And when we merge the gap, uh, we are not forced. I don't really believe that we are in any way forced. We are maybe fooled to come back. That may be an expression of it, right? or tricked or whatever, how you want to express that. But if we have a free will, it's not free will if we don't desire or say that I want to come back. We choose it for ourselves, right? But that's for another discussion. But it's a part of it. So this also the journey, stepping outside of your path, merging that gap,
Yeah.
merging the gap.
I like to think of it rather than you've failed, you got to come back and try it again. I think of it more like if I were entering a university and I wanted to take astronomy and I wanted to take math and I wanted to take biochemistry and I wanted to take art and I wanted to take basket weaving. But it took a long time to take each one of these courses. And I said, well, I'll take this course, and then next time I'll take this course, and next time I'll take this course, and next time I'll take this course. And that's how I feel that we have the experiences that we have, and allows us to experience.
Yes,
the
because we are here for the
and
experience.
not just read about it or not know about it, but jump right in and there is this wonderful movie called The Giver, and it's a society after the earth tried to destroy itself, and they decided that they would remove emotions, and there would be one person, the receiver, who carried all of the memories of the past, but individuals did not have that memory, and but he kept them in case somebody needed to check in with him. And sorry folks, what did I do? I stepped into that Mercury and I'm wandering around. But it's a great show that shows us that the experiences that we have are not bad. They are just experiences. And you can read about a sunset, but until you have seen a sunset, you have not had the visceral experience. And and our crap is a real good teacher of the visceral experiences.
Yeah. I pop a joke. So
okay.
maybe just an example of a very big joke. So, oh crap, I'm finding myself in the 1500s, the Middle Age, where circumstances are totally different, right?
Exactly.
So I think that you would be the one, and I probably too. This is going to be interesting.
Well,
so it's about how we respond, how we take on what's going to be. Because if we are having the power of ourselves, we are standing as long as we can in that. And our best, remember from the 4 agreements, our best vary from day to day. So don't be hard on yourself. But if we're strong in ourselves, we can come through anything, 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 anything. We can experience anything. It's just an experience.
It is. And I had the opportunity to meet a monk who was a Buddhist monk. Well, not that, but a Tibetan monk. And he was captured when he was 17 years old and held prisoner until he was 29 years old. And every day he had some kind of a torture going on. And after he got out, he wrote a book about how every day that he gave gratitude that he was still there, and he gave forgiveness, real forgiveness, to the person that was holding him prisoner. And it was a beautiful book. And I had the wonderful experience of meeting this person in real life. And we have adversities all the time, and when we're going through them, believe them, they're big. You know, me waiting to get into this wonderful healing bath that I was planning on getting into, and I've been waiting, preparing, and then it broke last night. And so it was like, okay, I could sit down and I could really get mad. I could really do this, but I go, okay, so I'm not doing it today, and that's okay. Now, that was big to me. It wasn't like being tortured. So our what we're going through is our personal stuff, and it's real and it's heavy, but
Yeah,
you can make it through. You can
exactly.
grow through the crap.
You can grow through the crap. And when it comes to relationships, and when we feel vulnerable, emotionally, yeah, we are more prone to feel vulnerable. At the same time, at the end of the day, what relationship is most important? The one with someone or the one with yourself?
Yes.
Because the one with yourself, it is for a lifetime, isn't it? It is truly for a lifetime. So
Yep.
put your love here first, and that's going to help you. It's not going to be, this journey is, it's not easy. No, it's not. You can feel like walking in mud sometimes, right? You can feel like you walk in mud maybe up to your throat. And and, and just stubbornly saying, well, I'm going to pass. I know I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass. Okay. I'm not giving in. I'm going to come out on the other side. And we do. So if you feel trapped in your crap, take a breath, place a hand on your heart, acknowledge the part of you that is tired of carrying what no longer belongs to you because it's coming from somewhere, your perception of yourself, right? Have a look at that.
Yes.
And, and then gently, lovingly begin the process of letting go. Letting go. Why being stuck thinking daily about someone? What do they think now? Do they want to come back? Do they want to have something with me in the future? Because in reality, our world is not either totally black or totally white. There are many gray zones in between. Doesn't mean that if someone doesn't respond in a way that you assume or wish or expect from them, right? That they are totally 100% bad, right? Sometimes people feel something for you. They may even have a love for you, but they are holding back, maybe for other reasons. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you either, right? Or something wrong with them. But we
Exactly.
have this tendency, but I think it comes from that urge to have control over what's going to happen in life.
Yes.
Specifically during times like this, when we are talking about crap and when we have Mercury retrograde. Good luck with that one. That was a joke.
Oh, bless you, Mercury.
Because, yes, because it's not, we cannot have control over everything. We can control ourselves, but if we control, we are caging ourselves. We also
Yes.
need to be in the flow, being the present moment, having the courage to expand and experience.
Yes, and one of the things that I that you try to convey a lot of times is that a relationship may look different because media tells us what a relationship should be, what a job situation should be. This is the ideal. If you're not living this, you're not doing this. If you're not driving this car, you're not doing this. And not every relationship looks like it does in the books and the movies. it's a real living thing. I can plant a flower and I can look at the package, and sometimes it doesn't look exactly like that because it is its individual, perfectly
Yes.
imperfect plant. And it will look similar, but it may not look exactly the same. Every diamond and precious jewel on this earth looks like a rock. And it takes someone to gently start finding the depth that it has. And the someone is ourselves, because we are the gemist to do our finding those different assets of ourself that we want to hang on to. And yeah, it's a beautiful journey.
It is a beautiful journey, and your freedom is not somewhere out there. It begins within you. It begins the moment you decide that your evolution matters more than your comfort. It begins the moment you choose to step out of the old story and into the truth of your infinite nature.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So, my dear friend, is it time to ask our wonderful public if they're having any interesting things going on? And your questions are so simply deep and penetrating. It's beautiful how you can take something so simple and in 3 words, and I'm sitting here going, okay, okay.
Well, we always love to put you in the hot seat, right? And now it's your turn again. I'm just kidding.
Yes,
And the the um, the point with these questions are basically because we are talking all the time, but it's you have the possibility to reflect and give an answer. But I also want to tell everybody out there that these questions are for you to
for
ponder
you,
about. Also, yes.
absolutely.
So go through them because it's going to be very, very handy. And it's also nice to keep a notebook uh, from your journey. I don't mean to write novels because that's going to feel overwhelming and too long, and then it's not going to be done. Make it simple so you can keep track of your experience. So maybe in a year or two from now, you're going to have different answers. You are going to have because you're going to be a different person, right?
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
first question. What is the crap you feel most tangled in right now?
Ah, right now, right now. Uh, well, see that's a very difficult question because right now, well, this morning I was going through a little bit of discernment because I'm going. I'm ready, and I think I'm supposed to be ready, but I'm not sure that I'm ready because I played with one of the rules with the 4 agreements called "Don't make assumptions," and I assumed that we were going to do such and such and such. So that was my most current being in the flow of the manure that floweth, and it wasn't big. And I'm sure, like everyone out there, you've worked and you just have little bits of time that you have, but they still come. And that was my current one. So what is your current entanglement with your
I'm happy sharing that with you because I assumed that the timers were different. I would have been thinking more logically because we haven't changed time zones. Not time zones. I mean time. times.
Daylight
It has
savings
had to
time.
do.
That's
Yeah,
a bunch
yeah,
of,
exactly.
excuse me.
Yeah, that is a crap, but we're living with that crap, so we have to kind of figure it out. And I don't see the point of it. I don't grow up with it. It came in the 80s in Sweden, so it's not something that I grew up with. And I can't really find the benefit of it because it's just, why not adjust the clock instead? Why are we going to complicate things? And it's not also the fact that we change not at the same time over the globe. We change different weekends usually, right?
Yeah,
So it's the
yes.
whole month of
So
March,
yeah,
basically.
it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. But that is a crap thing, and this is maybe, something. So I had a choice to make here. Am I going to look like Donald Duck about this crap? That is not mine because we also had crap that we can't control. It's not my
exactly.
decision to make. My decision is how am I going to manage this for myself? Yeah, well, I did it today, but that was something that didn't fit in my mind when I was was sorry thinking about the time because Arizona usually will go live your time 11 a.m.
Yeah.
and that is 8 p.m. for me here in Greece. And it should have been obvious to me that
Yeah.
9 a.m. your time would be 6 p.m. my time, but it wasn't obvious. So I said to you, I think it's 7 p.m. out of the blue, right? But anyway, that's how things can come about. But I think in all processes, it's what we do with it. And we have been laughing so hard before we even
It
went
was
on
so,
to this. Yeah, it was so funny.
oh, so what it did was allowed us to have a time to really be joyful, be laughter, and change our endorphins through the gift of laughter, and we did it. We just put it together. So, oh
Yeah,
yes,
we did.
thank you,
We
universe.
always do.
Yes.
So, second question, is this pattern truly yours or did you inherit it from someone else's story? The crap
Okay,
we talked about. Yes.
I'm gonna have to go back into to history here. Um, all that I've learned about myself is that when myself came here, I was given somebody else's story and somebody else's history. And it has taken many, many years for me to realize that my true story is something that I am creating, and it blends maybe with other stories, but it is not their story. So I would say that we come in with our own perception, our own gifts, our own journey. And I think every human being, with rare exceptions, are being given someone else's story. But
Yeah.
people are becoming aware now, and they're starting to raise these beautiful little gifts to find their story more easily. And that's the beauty of everything that we've done and everything that's happening.
It is beautiful. It's absolutely wonderful. So, third question.
Oh,
What
okay.
emotions, what emotion sits underneath the mess, the one you rarely give space to? Is there any mess at all?
Oh, that there you go. You go in and you get these questions. What emotion sits underneath all of this mess? I would have to say that one of the emotions that I have dealt with from the beginning of time is self-value, self-worth. Am I good enough? And I find that when I am in a situation that is uncomfortable, those are the emotions that really pop up. Because if I'm not good enough, I'll be abandoned. So those two are situations that have up until recently, I'm saying maybe even 4 years ago, been the emotions that have guided me through every decision I made. And folks, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So if I say that I was dealing with those up until about 2 years ago, I was 80 2 years ago. So they keep kind of flaring up. But each time they flare up, and I have the strength to say, okay, don't need you anymore. You go over there. Um, I'm getting stronger. So I would say that those are the ones that unfortunately have guided a lot of decisions I made in my life. And fortunately, I've been able to get out of those decisions.
And that's wonderful. And I thank you for sharing that, because I think it's important for everybody to know that we come in here. I always say that when we are born, we come in without a map. We don't have any compass.
That's right.
We are coming without our memory. Usually, there are some rare souls that actually have the benefit of still remembering. Sometimes we come into that remembrance later on in life, right?
Yep. Yep.
But as children, we are, um, no, I rephrase that. We have to being brought up by the families we come into, right? And
Yeah.
without judging them, because they do the best they can, but they
Yep.
come from their experience, right? So if
Exactly.
you have a parent or two parents coming from their experience of raising you, and then you keep on the same thing and you raise your kids in the same manner, that's
Uh-huh.
going to continue forever. But as you said, we are coming into stunning times, and that also means that it's freer. So when I put that example out of the Middle Ages, the 1500s, we were much more restricted back then, weren't we?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So now we are having good times, so we can actually expand. We can expand our mind, our soul. We can step outside of patterns. We can see things from higher perspective. There are so many ways of saying it. My way of saying that is, you know, take a step back, observe. Don't act or react immediately. Take it in first, and then how does it feel? Am I going to pick a choice here that's going to be a repeated pattern? And maybe that is what I feel for a certain situation. That wouldn't be wrong, but I felt it. Or I'm going to pick and choose a whole new direction, right?
Exactly.
But it's always in each and every moment our choice how we do it, right? So emotions in my life that have been sitting, um, I always had this sense because I was given it. I was very fortunate. I always heard that you are so smart, you can do everything, you can do this, you can do that. But the expectations were high on. And the only one I had telling me that I would never go anywhere, that was my mom. Only her. But I had grandma, great grandma, grandpa, you name a lot of people telling me that
Yeah.
I was good enough. And that's a blessing. But I think that what I needed to come out from, um, realizing that you don't need to do everything totally by yourself. You can also ask for help sometimes,
Yep.
reach out, but the right people. So maybe I had a tendency in my younger ages to hold people back a little bit. But I think it was also before I understood and I judged myself, why don't I feel connected to that person. Why am I judging them? What's happening? When you have the sense
Yes.
that I like you or I don't like you, so I judge myself. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
I went
Perfectly
on with
said.
this. Yeah. So, fourth question. If your crap could speak, what truth would it whisper to you today?
It would reveal to me that I love myself, I value myself, and I am valued, I am loved, and that everything that it has taught me has given me the opportunity to become the version of myself that I was that I had not seen because I was covered in crap.
Yeah, I understand. So, if my crap could speak, yeah, you're doing your best. You are good. You're great. You love yourself. That would my crap say to me.
Yeah.
And it would also probably say that you're stubborn, but that's a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. Yay for us stubborn people.
Yes. It makes us being, I'm not going to quit until I at least tried enough times, right? I'm going to
Exactly.
give it a try.
Yeah.
So, what tiny shift would help you step out of the loop and into your total freedom?
Oh, well, I guess I took that step, and it was a big step. Uh, when I was about 41 years old and newly divorced, and I had a 2 year old, and I was like, okay, um, was to start loving myself. And that was the biggest step that I took for myself. And tiny shifts happen daily when I consciously say, I have a choice in how I'm going to receive this information and how I'm going to use this information. And I'm not going to let it slow me down. I'm just going to figure out a different way to get around it and through it. And
Yes.
so,
Perfect. Perfect. So, what do you say? Do you think we are ready to wrap this up?
I think so. It's time to muck the stalls. Um, and if a person is not familiar with that expression, that's when you go in with a big pick and you clean out the you know what from the horses and the animals. So, you know, every day muck your stall, do your spiritual hygiene, and just keep on loving yourself and realize that you are this, what do we say, perfectly imperfect, beautiful human being.
Exactly. Thank you. So, here we go. Find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/ at Cosmic Guardians 111 / streams or youtube.com/ at Angel Place on Earth / streams. And you can connect with us, read articles, and find out more. And Corrine and her website and everything else, phone number, and you can find out how to join her open heart meditation on Tuesdays at angelplaceearth.com / cosmic guardians. You can also find episodes past and upcoming at angelplaceonearth.com / upcoming past. Find our series at angelplaceonearth.com / series cosmic guardians. But the only thing you need to remember is the first one, right? angelplaceonearth.com / cosmic guardians. So I'm just repeating myself. Our next upcoming show on Cosmic Guardians and Cosmic Sis-Stars is next Wednesday. It's March 25th. That's a national holiday in Greece, by the way. Extra information. And we will talk about living limitless. How to
I love
live
that.
limitless. Yes. And we do a live for you every Wednesday in US and Europe, and that means early morning Thursday in Australia future. So here comes today's affirmation. Do you want to read that or do you want me to read it?
I would love to. I
Yes.
honor every part of my journey. Nothing in me is wrong, broken, or too much. I breathe deeply into my truth and I rise from the inner landscape with clarity, softness, and power. I am free to choose a new story at every moment. I am guided, I am held, and I am infinitely supported by the light within me. Beautiful.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you, Anna.
you. Thank you too. It's more beautiful when you say them. And I can listen. So thank you everybody for journeying with us today with a tender, tangled, truth-filled terrain of being human. Wonderful. If today's conversation stirred something in you, a memory, a pattern, a spark of recognition, let it breathe. Let it move. Let it guide you gently back to yourself. Remember, nothing you meet within you is here to punish you. It's here to free you. Your crap is not a cage. It's compost for your becoming. As you step back into your day, may you walk with a little more softness, a little more humor, a lot of it, right? And a whole lot more sovereignty. You are not trapped. You are transforming. Until next time, keep shining, keep choosing you, and keep rising in the miracle of your own light. With infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you, we hear you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you. From your cosmic sisters, Karina and Ann.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.